Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews, he flew off to China last night. As I said yesterday, it's his 7th trip to the dictatorship. This one, though, the media is banned, and there's no details of who he will meet. Not even his deputy premier, who's acting in his stead today, not even she knew. Have a listen.
This is very much a business trip that the Premier is taking. It's not an event trip. It's very much full of meetings that will be focused on those really key important areas around international education. Look, I'm not aware of the individual meetings that the Premier is undertaking.
These meetings she doesn't know anything about are actually very important, she swears, and we've got to trust her, while they're all grinning in the background. I mean, seriously. As soon as he landed in China, by the way, this clip emerged of him talking to the dictatorship's official media, not Australia's. It's one that the Chinese state media rushed out. It's an older clip from a previous visit, and in it he's praising China to the skies. Have a look.
The Chinese story is absolutely central to the Victorian story for more than 150 years. You can't imagine a modern Victoria without the Chinese influence. Good friends can disagree. True friends do not disrespect, though, and that's always the approach that I've taken. You can have an honest dialogue, but it needs to be a respectful dialogue.
Now, that clip's 6 years old. The Chinese media brought it back again today in Dan Andrews' honour. What do you make of all this?
Well, an honest dialogue would be nice. It'd be nice if Dan Andrews drew attention to the plight of the Uyghurs, for example, and the build-up of the Chinese military machine. But one of the individuals he is apparently going to be seeing is one of these characters from the Chinese Friendship to Foreign Countries Committee, or whatever it is. It's some kind of one of these shadowy fronts for the CCP. And Mike Pompeo has when he was Secretary of State, he was very, very suspicious of many of these organisations. In fact, Andrew, it was after I interviewed Mike Pompeo for Outsiders that he became aware, Mike Pompeo, that Dan Andrews had signed up to the Belt and Road Initiative. When I asked him just out of the blue on an interview, he said the Americans knew nothing about it. And very quickly that became a big story, which of course the ABC and others rubbished Sky News for. But within no time at all, the Americans had made it very clear, Mike Pompeo made it very clear that he would disconnect, quote, from Victoria. The Americans would disconnect from Victoria or any other state or nation that they felt was getting too close to China. Seems that Dan Andrews hasn't learned that lesson. The Victorians, he should be looking after Victoria, not running around playing some kind of foreign minister's role. We have a government that is responsible for international affairs, and Dan Andrews has clearly not heeded the warning of Mike Pompeo last time around, when the federal government had to step in and stop Victoria from signing up to the Belt and Road Initiative. So he's playing in very murky and dangerous waters, and he really shouldn't be.